Toss a coin to your Witcher because this is almost the last time we're going to see Henry Cavill as Geralt of Rivia in Netflix's The Witcher. As monarchs, mages, and beasts of the continent compete to capture her, Geralt takes Ciri into hiding, determined to protect his newly reunited family against those who threaten to destroy it. Entrusted with Ciri's magical training, Yennefer leads them to the protected fortress of Aretuza, where they hope to uncover more about the girl's untapped powers. Instead, they discover they've landed in a battlefield of political corruption, dark magic, and treachery. They must fight back, put everything on the line, or risk losing each other forever. So this is Volume 1 of Season 3. It's 5 episodes, and then Volume 2 is going to be coming out in July with the final 3 episodes. It's a strange way to break up the final season, but I guess maybe Netflix is just hoping that by stretching it out, they can get more viewing time. Well, we pretty much pick up right where Season 2 left off, with Geralt, Ciri, and Yennefer sort of on the run in an effort to keep Ciri safe. Now, there are some action sequences in this season that are just awesome. Geralt gets all witchered out, and then he goes ham on some beasts. And in one of those instances, it's in a confined space, so it is pretty exciting. And speaking of those beasts, some of the ones that the characters encounter are pretty freaky and unique. And most of the time, the effects look great, with shading, textures, and even shadowings that match the surroundings. But then there are a couple of times when the graphics just go wonky and they don't look good at all. Now, there are times, too, when we watch a lot of blood spurt out, and it's not as convincing as it could be. I mean, the gore and the effects, they're still great, it's just the visuals are a little too fake. And it's funny that with some of the less than stellar special effects, something that the story does amazingly well is in scene transitions. There's an element to the story that involves how Ciri is seeing the world. And as the visuals change, it's seamless, and it just drew me into the story in a wonderful way. And for these portions, the storytelling, it's very immersive and tense. I mean, the characters are facing huge risks and danger, and then the outcome for them is fairly uncertain. Now, for as exciting as some of the action is and how great a lot of the effects and story devices are, I found my interest waning quite a bit through most of this season. Now, it had nothing to do with the acting. Cavill is great as he grunts. I mean, this season he's showing more emotion and he's getting a lot more dialogue. Anya Chalatra's Yennefer, she's excellent to watch as she moves more into a teacher and caregiver role with Ciri. And plus then, her dynamic with both Geralt and Ciri, it's endearing and a lot of fun to watch, with many scenes that enable her to showcase various levels of exasperation and frustration. Freya Allen's Ciri is awesome to watch also. She's like a new superhero that just learned of their powers. All the potential is there, but the skill is still very new and undeveloped. And there's this ongoing theme with Ciri that's basically anytime either Geralt or Yennefer tells her to stay out of trouble or to not touch something, that's immediately what she does do. I mean, it's like chasing after a toddler who's just learned to walk and none of the baby gates are up yet. I mean, Ciri is innocently problematic, but very sympathetic too, especially if she's just trying to navigate her powers and then her role in the world. Plus, balancing all that with the expectations that are placed on her and the people trying to hunt her down. Okay, so I said that I wasn't totally invested in most of the season, but when we get to episode 5, I was captivated. Now, I think a lot of that has to do with the style of storytelling that's employed. We watch events play out, but they're interspersed with shots that take place after the event and also before. So it's kind of like flashbacks and then layered with a heavy dose of Ocean's 11. The schemes that are being planned and executed, they're complex and twisty, and they're also very entertaining. We see actions carried out and then later get the reasoning behind them, completely changing the perspective of what we'd been previously shown. It's a fun way to keep the story fresh while also giving a bunch of exposition that doesn't feel boring or tired. Also, pay attention to the song that plays throughout so much of this episode. I thought it was very relevant and poignant for the story arc. And then going back to the cast for just a moment, fans of Yesker will be happy to know that he's once again got a more prominent role that really allows his witty and sarcastic tone to be showcased. Joey Beatty is so good as the Bard. I mean, I love how he's so much a reluctant player, but through that, he often becomes the unsung hero, unexpectedly saving the day, or at least the one that he's responsible for. So because there are 3 more episodes, I really have no idea how this is going to wrap up and where in the story the show's going to take us. Liam Hemsworth is slated to take over the role of Geralt, but I don't even know when the next season is scheduled. But for this first volume of Season 3, overall, I enjoyed the story. It didn't captivate me as much through the first several episodes, but there's a huge amount of character growth and development that we watch through these as well, continuously adding to the complexity and the allure of the characters. The action's exciting, and the fight scenes are handled and filmed well, allowing us to see a lot of the moves unhindered by quick and blurry cuts. The special effects, they're mixed in quality, but the majority are convincing with freaky and imaginative creature designs. And finally, the political intrigue and schemes help to add story intricacies that make for an interesting and engaging quest. There's sex, some nudity, a lot of profanity, and a bunch of violence. I'm going to hold off on giving this a score until Volume 2 is out, but let me know how you like the show and what you think of the casting choice for Henry's replacement in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.